Hi guys! Today we are joined by Gretl, who is a world traveler from Amsterdam, who travels around the world and shares her adventures on YouTube. So thank you very much for joining us today, Gretl.
Thank you for having me.
Could you give us a quick background about yourself and how you came to start your traveling YouTube channel?
I'm originally from the south of the Netherlands, and when I was 18, I went to theater academy. So I've done 4 years of that, and I officially a theater director now. And then I worked a few years as a theater director, mainly with youngsters and location theater. And then I thought, oh man, I want to do more with video, more with editing, filming, hosting. So when we went to the Philippines, I started to make my own videos for YouTube, and that worked out pretty well. So I just stick to it and keep on doing it.
Okay, cool. And what brought you into wanting to get into film and editing and things like that? What was the main draw that initially brought you into that field?
Well, it was already there when I was very, very young. And as a kid, I watched television a lot. That was the main thing that I did. I was always in front of the television, and I always wanted to be either an actor or a host. Either way, I had to go to theater academy. And then in theater academy, they accepted me as a director. So in the beginning, I have to say, honestly, I was a little bit disappointed. Like, oh, now I cannot be an actor. But when I finished it, I thought, wow, it's okay because I can do whatever I want. And then first I did my directing work. I mean, I studied for that, but I was invited then to do one hosting thing. It was really cool, actually. It was in a big truck, and they showed movies to youngsters, and the truck went from school to school in the entire Netherlands. And I could host a little video and just like being on set, being with the crew, the camera guys, the director. I loved it so much. And then I thought, oh man, I should not let go of this dream. And if I want it, I should do it now. So that's like maybe one year ago that I thought, okay, I just have to switch it. I stopped theater and I'm going to do more with video. Yeah.
Yeah, I've found the same thing, and
Mhm.
just YouTube's amazing because it's
Yeah.
so quick to get it from, you're editing your video and you're getting it right, and then bang, it's published to the world type thing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a great tool for video makers and people who want to share their life or share their adventures or their stories or their travels. What got you into traveling and then filming your adventures traveling and putting that into video?
Well, my original traveling started. I'm an only child, and my parents are not able to travel a lot. So when I was a kid, we just went like to Belgium or to Germany, and that was it. So I had not seen like much of the world. And then when I was in theater academy, I wanted to make a movie also. It's funny, I think about it. No, yeah, it was a movie. It was not even a travel movie, but it was an artistic movie with my best friend, and we wanted to make it alongside the rivers in Europe, but we didn't have any money because we were students to travel anywhere. So then he said, why aren't we going hitchhiking? And I liked that idea. So we went hitchhiking and we went through basically entire Europe. We went
Nice.
to Vienna, we went to Athens, Croatia, Montenegro, like everywhere.
Mm.
And there I realized, like, wow, there's so many things in this world I have not seen yet. And that's where my travel vibe kind of started. And then I did some travels, like on my own and with my boyfriend now. And then in February, when we went to the Philippines, then I really started the recording, because then I thought, okay, I should combine my love for video making with my love for traveling. Because I was thinking the other way around. I was thinking like, I want to make video. What should I do? And then I thought, well, the other big love that I have is traveling. So if I could combine them, and my ultimate dream was to ever be a host of a travel program.
Yeah.
And then, well, as you said, with YouTube, it's all possible, you know? You can do it. You can make it. You can upload it and people can see it. So I thought, why should I wait for someone to invite me to be the host of a television show? Why shouldn't I make my own show? It's even cooler because I can decide what we're doing.
And it's a really good point that you brought up where you had this love for video and for making movies, and then you had this love for travel, and
Yeah.
you figured out how you could combine them to do them both, at the same time. Because
Hmm.
a lot of people that I talk to that do love travel, and they're like, oh, I need money to go travel, so they're like, how can I get a job, that can pay me lots of money, so then I can go traveling with that money. And I'm like,
Hmm.
these days you can really combine, the
Yeah.
job that you like to do and travel. So there's so many options for doing work online or doing work away from the office and reporting,
Yeah.
and, internet's just becoming so widespread over the globe. So you can really, be anywhere and still have internet access and Wi-Fi access, to be able to, still get work done and report back and make a living online. It's great, the opportunity now, and so it'll be exciting to see, how it goes in the near future with more people being able to live in other countries easier and travel easier and work online easier, and uh, traveling long term will be a lot more accessible than I
Yeah.
think it might have been in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also believe that, and I hope I can explain it correct in English, it's not only about money anymore, that we are realizing that money is
Mm.
just a state between two things. Like I can do work for you and you can give me money. Or what I do right now is I get a lot of press trips. And then, I mean, that doesn't pay my rent, but it gives me a whole trip that otherwise I would have paid like at least 2,000 euros
Yeah.
for. So it gives me value. And I give a video back, so I give value back. And then in the meantime, if I'm traveling 1 week, I've got 3 weeks at home to do something, to pay my rent. But I don't need to make that 2,000 euros then for that 1 week of traveling.
Mm.
And I have the feeling, I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but I have the feeling more people realize that too, that you can exchange values instead of only how do I get money because then I can spend it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a very important distinction. I think in the past it used to be you had to have the money and had to buy it from established companies to be able
Yeah.
to get that, that thing or that product or whatever. But now you've got things like, there's heaps of crowdsourcing going on, and you can talk directly with
So,
different people. And
yeah.
there's, couch surfing and Airbnb and, lots of different opportunities that the internet provides. So instead of just
Mhm.
having, whatever the travel agent says you have to do, you can
Yeah.
go online and search and, find your own path. And
Anything you want.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you can do it a lot cheaper for one, and you can also exchange things that isn't money. So you can
Yeah.
exchange, time for accommodation, or you can help out at
Yeah.
different things, or you can get jobs which, just by chatting with different people in different areas, where before it
Mm.
would have been, very hard to do that. Definitely a good time to be out and be traveling, and where
Yeah.
I feel like we're at the sort of the forefront of this new work travel, um,
Mm.
sort of career type path that people can go on, because it's technology is finally there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I even have the feeling that the generation that's slightly under us,
Hmm.
like the people that are 16 till 17 now, because they have YouTube already when they are in high school,
Yeah.
they really can do whatever they want because they can learn whatever they want. We were still like, we had a teacher that told us things, and it was harder to get information on your own. If you wanted to learn how to do photography, you had to do like a photography class, or your dad was a photographer, things like that. But now, whatever you want, you can find tutorials on YouTube and learn yourself the world. Like 15-year-old people that know how to, make a website and things like that, like not with WordPress, but from scratch.
Mm.
Like, dude, that's really amazing, actually. So I have the feeling that even that generation has even more of an advantage.
So
Uh,
what does a day in the life look like for you at the moment with, you know, your traveling and your work, and, you know, what does it sort of look and feel like?
Yeah, it's a good question because it's really like so different. It's really like one day is totally not like another. Because when I'm on a press trip, then it's really like waking up at 6 in the morning, make sure all my cameras are, with the batteries in and everything, doing some breakfast with the group because mostly it's in a group. I had some individual individual press trips too, but and then like driving anywhere, filming the whole day. People sometimes still say when I'm going for travel, like, "Oh, have a great holiday," and I'm like, "Okay, it is great what I'm doing. It's not that I want to say it's not great, but it's not a holiday."
Yeah.
Because especially for making film, you know that too. When you blog and when you write, if I say it like flat, you need maybe 4 good pictures for an article and your experience. And if you missed out on something, some information or whatever, you just look it up on Google and you're like, oh, okay, it's so many million people in that city, and then you write it down.
Mm.
For video, if I don't have a shot, if I don't have an overview of the city, I cannot use it. I cannot, in the editing room think, oh, I need an overview shot. Yeah, okay, I should have it. And because I'm not sure exactly what I want to tell, because I'm not sure exactly what will happen, I just need every shot. So wide, close up, people, landscapes, buildings, everything. So I'm just filming, 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 filming like crazy. And till now, I don't know how that happened, but all my press trips were extremely hot. Really, we went to Thailand first,
Yeah.
and then when you are going on a press trip, for the people that are not going that much on press trips, mostly it's a little bit out of the season because they want you just before high season starts because they want people to come in high season.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a bit rainy or there's always a reason why it's not high season. And for me now it was just like insanely hot. First in Thailand, then in Switzerland. There was 1 week in Europe where everything was too hot. And that was the week we were in Switzerland. So that was too hot. Then we were in Jordan, it was really hot. And now we were in the Gambia, and that was even like, oh man, that was hotter than hot. It was like water just streaming down your face.
Mm.
And then you're walking in a village and you think, oh, I need that shot. And if I'm not running for it, I will miss it.
Yeah.
So you just, water everywhere, and then you just run for your shot. So at the end of the day, at like 8 o'clock, when we are the evening with dinner, I'm tired.
That's one thing I've definitely noticed, and I definitely tell people when they say, what's it like, putting stuff on YouTube and being in the travel industry and stuff. And I'm like, it's a lot of work. Like you need to know that before you get in. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of like, you see this, finely tuned 3 to 4 minute video, and you're like, oh, that's cool, I could do that. But the amount of work to get all of those shots, and then just to edit and find which ones you want to do, and then and you're always thinking about what shot and what angle, and things like that, and and it's always, a lot of this industry is just job to job type thing. So it's not a consistent income, from other things. So you've got to be aware of that as well, and you've got to be able to learn how to manage your time and your money, knowing that it might not be consistent, and it takes a long time to even get to the point where you can start getting paid to travel around, to make videos. And so that's definitely one thing I make sure to tell people when they're asking me how to do that.
Well, at some point it's actually great, because when people tell us like, wow, I want your job because you're full-time on holiday, we actually did a good job, because then the video looks like you have a great holiday there. And that's what we want our videos to look like. Like we had a great time and everything, but all the behind the scenes things, it's great you don't see it in a video, but as soon as you want to do something like it, you should be, as you say, you should be really aware of it. Yeah, because what I just told you, that's only, that's only the day of the traveling. That doesn't make a movie yet, because I'm not going to edit like 8 in the afternoon if we have to start at 6 in the morning again. So when I get home with all my materials, then I have, yeah, maybe 2/3 of the time for videos, really, then the editing, because I have to find my good shots. I have to make, the general story. Then I have to put my voiceover under it.
Yeah.
I have to find my music. That's really so time consuming to find the right music, because you want
Such a
music that
headache.
fits. It's really headache. And every YouTuber, everyone making videos I talk to says, "Oh my God, that music." And that's really the main thing when I start editing a video. I'm always looking forward to it, but the part of the music, I'm like, shoot me. And the thing is, you cannot just grab any song you want and put it on your video. If you want to do it a little bit decent, you need a Creative Commons song, something you can use, you're allowed to use, and then find the right song for the right moment.
Yeah.
So that actually does make me very happy. If people put under my video, like, "Wow, you did such a great job on the music. I love the music." I'm like, "Thank you guys. Thank
I've
you."
worked
Because,
so hard. Thank you.
yeah, it takes forever. Thanks, like Josh Woodward and people like that who make their music available.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, people always ask, yeah, like, that when I tell them about different jobs and stuff, they say, oh, how can I do that as well?
Yeah.
So could you go over a little bit about the process you took from just starting traveling and just starting to film your travels and share them on YouTube to being able to make a living or being able to get free trips and things so you
Mm.
can travel as well? Like what
Yeah.
that process was.
Yeah. Well, actually, I just started like half a year ago. So I
Yeah.
am really fresh, and I'm really surprised how soon it already went up, because in the first half year, I did 4 press trips. So I was like, wow, that was actually surprising for me, because I was not expecting that. Um, but yeah, if I name it step by step, last August, I quit theater. I worked as a freelancer, and then I decided to live off my savings for a year.
Mhm.
And what I do sometimes at home to pay my rent is voice acting. And I know that's not for everyone, but if you're able to do it, because it makes amazingly great money for really less work. But I have really an advantage because I did theater academy. So I learned how to change and tweak my voice, how to talk without an accent and stuff like that. Maybe you don't hear it in English, but in Dutch I really can speak without an accent. So that's what I sometimes do. And for the press trip part, um, I would say a few things are important. First of all, yeah, it does matter how many followers and views you have, because you can be the best person in the world making great videos or whatever, but if really no one is watching it, then a country doesn't care for it. Like Thailand will, they want to see people what great stuff they have.
Mm.
But on the other hand, don't think that you need millions of views. That's also not the case. But you need to be somewhere in the middle. But you can always now start asking and start connecting with people, because I think that's the most important part. For me, I don't know how it's with you, but people are not just seeing my YouTube channel and then contacting me like, "Hey, do you want to come to Jordan?" It has always been that I know people personally, because I met them, because I know them through groups on Facebook or on websites. Till now, I always have seen them like face to face before I got a press trip from someone.
Gotcha.
Because because for video it's less actually. Blogs, there are many blogs. I think if you're doing video, thumbs up, because there are not many people doing it. So the chance of you like getting a press trip are higher, because everyone wants video and not many people are offering it. And as I said, I had it within the first half year, so it's not like
Yeah.
happening within 5 years or something.
Yeah, it's really important to have, that sort of entrepreneurial
Mm.
mindset when you've got sort of a vision for the lifestyle you want to be living, or how you want to have your work and your travel together, or whatever love you have and your
Mm.
work, and how you can combine them to create an income, and then you can do searching online. You can ask different people, and you should go out and talk to different people that are doing similar things and say, oh, I could help you this way and I could help you that way. And if you're doing YouTube, it's really important to have those people skills and to have that mindset of figuring out what you can offer with the skills that you have, and who would want to have those skills, like being promoted or things like that. And so and you only sort of get that by being out and and doing it, type thing. And so I always recommend people going traveling as soon as possible. And because some people there's still this big sort of mindset, which is, I need to go to school and get a really good mark and a really good degree to be able to get a secure job. And this is more my opinion, but I'm thinking, like, so many layoffs these days, a secure job, that isn't secure anymore. And there's so much competition for that high-paying job with the degree. And there's such a big opening in this new market of being able to do stuff online, but you need to go out there and make different mistakes and find different people and learn as you go, and then you'll get those skills, which are highly valued and highly paid for in the future. If someone wanted to go out traveling and like they're not that interested in being a YouTuber, but they just really want to go out traveling, but they might be a bit afraid of what to expect, or they don't have anyone to go with, so they're like, oh, I'm going to be by myself. And they're worried sometimes about different dangers, or sometimes about just being alone, being lonely on the road. Could you talk about your experience of traveling, and then, how that sort of changed from like when you first thought, oh, I could go traveling, but maybe I've got some fears, and then when you actually went traveling and you're like, wow, this is what it's like. Just talk to that a little bit.
Well, I must say, like what I told before about hitchhiking, where we started traveling, the first time we went to do that, I was so afraid. Really, I was not nice. I was cranky like 3 days before, 24/7, just snapped easily. And then my friend said, like, okay, we don't have to go. We do this because we think it's fun. And I said, well, I do think it's fun, but I'm just, scared as hell, because hitchhiking, people say it's dangerous, it's scary. We don't know who we are going to meet, how they are going to react to us. But in the end, when we came home, it was like totally happy, freedom feeling. And I think I sometimes have the feeling, I don't know if you did some bungee jumping.
No, I've never done that. I've been skydiving.
Yeah, I had. Oh, okay. Maybe it's the same feeling. I've been doing bungee jumping, and your whole body is like, you're going to kill me. If you throw me off of such a high place, you're going to kill me. Don't do that. Yeah. And your mind is like, no, I know that if I do it, it's going to be fun. And that feeling I have with traveling too. And the thing is, you should just do it. How scared you are, how much you're crying, just, push yourself over. And as soon as you're over that point, I have the feeling, as soon as you're in the country, as soon as you're sleeping in your first hostel, most of the time it's just gone, because there was a reason why you wanted to travel. And most of the time that reason then takes over from your fear, because fear mostly comes from, I don't know it. I don't know the place. I don't know the people. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe you're afraid you will be alone. But while traveling, I can tell you, in front, you will not be alone. Yeah. If you enter a hotel or a hostel, you're just sitting there and you put on your friendly face and you wait for 10 minutes, people come. You will meet people. And the nice people you will stay together with, and the not so nice people you will say, okay, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Because it's traveling. It's really easy. It's actually more easy than normal life.
Yeah, that's some great advice. Like, I always tell people to book a flight, because, if you book a flight, then you've got a date and you're like, oh wow, I'm going over there, I'm going to Thailand in a month or 2 months. Now I need to, save every cent I can, because it's going to be, it's going to go a long way in Thailand, and, I need to get myself together, and it just sort of gets you motivated. And then once you get over there, then you're there. So you have to figure it out. Like, you're not going to, like, no one's going to book accommodation for you, and no one's going to take you to the restaurant. You've got to do it yourself. And so
Mm.
you sort of get thrown in the deep end and you figure it all out as you go. And, and it can be a little bit confronting or scary at times, but everyone, especially, if you're staying in hostels or you're around other travelers, they're so friendly and welcoming, and they're used to people like not knowing different things or not knowing the language or where to go, so everyone's usually willing to help you. And yeah, and everyone's usually there to holiday as well, so
Yeah.
they're in a happy mood and happy time. They want to meet new people and have fun.
I would advise really to travel by yourself, because when you are together, you're still like a duo. So you, in a way, you close up to other people. People don't come to you as easily as when you are alone.
Mm.
So my first really alone travel was to Myanmar, and I did some voluntary work there. I'm a theater director, so I directed a play for
Nice.
2 weeks at the university with 50 Burmese, like 20 something people just standing in front of me, all watching me like, oh, what should we do? So it was really cool. And then I realized also I could have never done it if we were with the two,
Yeah.
It's just because I'm here alone, I'm open to people, that I can really like connect to the place and to the people. That feeling I have when you travel alone, it's the best way to connect. If you really, really, really want to see a country, yeah, then I think you should go by yourself.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite ways to travel is by
Mm.
myself. And yeah, like I've also noticed, one, if you have someone, if you're traveling with someone, it's harder to talk to other people because you've got someone there to talk to. And so when you're by yourself, you need to push yourself to talk to people. But
Yeah.
also, you're more easily talked to when you're by
Mm.
yourself,
Yeah.
because they might think, if you're with someone, they might think, oh, I don't want to interrupt them, or they're a couple, I don't want to get in their space. But if you're just by yourself, they're like, oh, hey, what are you up to? We're going to a bar. Do you want to join us? And then you're like, oh, sweet, thanks. And then you make new friends, and you
Yeah.
go from there. So yeah, it's,
Yes.
it's, it's definitely good. So
Yeah.
what are some of the most positive aspects that you've gotten from travel, now that you've been traveling for a couple of years?
Um, well, the main thing I get from it now is when I watch the news or when I look at the media, um, I have the feeling, and it's personal, that they are trying to tell me that there are a lot of bad people out there.
Yeah.
And probably they are, but it's really easy to get the feeling like, oh my God, that world there is scary. A lot of people want to do shit
Yes.
like attack each other, want to attack me, whatever. And when you go out traveling, the big surprise, or maybe not, is 95% of the people are good people. They're friendly, they're nice, they want to talk to you. Yeah, sometimes they want some money from you, but can you blame them? Like if you live in a poor country and someone has the ability to pay a flight ticket to come to your country to stay in a really fancy hotel and drink like smoothies there, can you blame them for asking you for $1? But that doesn't make them bad people. There are almost only like friendly people out there. So that's what it gives to me. I travel mostly for the people more than for buildings or beautiful views.
It's very much about self-discovery when you travel, because you see all of these different
Mm.
points of views and different ways that people are living their lives. And
Yeah.
it's not wrong or right, it's just different from how you live
Mm.
your life. And so, like, I remember when I was growing up and I hadn't traveled, I had an image of the world, and I thought that that's how it was, and I thought that that's
Yeah.
how it was everywhere. And
Mm.
then when I went traveling, I saw that it was very different in different parts of the world, and it still
Mm.
worked, great. Like everyone was still happy and going about their business. And there was countries which I thought were dangerous because I had heard about them on the news, and I get
Yeah.
there and it's fine, and it's some of
Yeah.
the best times. Like I remember Guatemala was
Mm.
one of my most favorite countries that I went to,
Yeah.
and and I've heard terrible things about it, and maybe there was terrible things you know, in certain parts of the country or in the past, but my experience was very positive, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had that experience if I hadn't traveled to that country and seen it for myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it, there's so much benefit to travel. I can't recommend it enough to anyone who's watching this and they're unsure about whether they should travel or not.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that you're saying there, because I think the scary things, like we don't notice it, but we get a lot of negative things from the news about countries, and we used to think, or we mostly are thinking that it's bigger than it actually is. Like what you said, now people get kidnapped in the Philippines, which is like scary for me too. But it's the entire Philippines is a really big country.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like if something is happening in one really small part that all of a sudden the entire country is like off limits and you can't go there anymore. And that's what I noticed many times, that if one thing happens in one country, you think it affects a huge area.
Cool. So lastly, people always ask, what's your favorite country and why is that so? So
Yes.
Gretel, what is your favorite country, and maybe why is, you know, what's a really fond memory you have from that country?
Yeah, that's a hard question because my heart is like divided between some countries. If you ask me within Europe, I love Switzerland a
Okay.
lot. But that's, if you talk about traveling and holiday, if I go on holiday, I go to Switzerland because, you know, that's the best place to get total new energy, relax, being in the nature. It's amazing. It's really amazing. I fell in love with Myanmar,
Okay.
as a lot of other people. I know that, but I went there 2 times. I just love the people there. They're really friendly and open, and I have the feeling happy to be connected to the world again more and more. And one of my best travel memories is actually from there because we went to the south, to Pa'an, which is a really small village. What I like about Pa'an is everyone you ask who went there, or at least for me till now, you say, did you like Pa'an? Yeah, I loved it a lot. It was one of the best places of my trip. And then you ask why, and then they're like, no, there's
Not
nothing
sure.
special there. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, you know, everyone has a great story of meeting someone, doing something that was fun with them. So I like that. You cannot put it in Lonely Planet, like go to Pa'an, you have a great time. We don't know why, but
Yeah.
it's just really, I like that. But we were there and we met a monk, and then he invited us to his monastery the next day. So we went on a scooter, couldn't find it, so it took us hours, and then we finally found the monastery where we had to go. And then it happened to be, we didn't know that it was the last celebration day of the birthday of the upper monk.
Wow.
So there were all monks, like really from big to small, really in a line, from smaller, really long lines. And they were eating together and they were praying, and there were the women monks and the men monks and classes of monks. And
Wow.
we were just walking there as the only, you know, foreigners, like, how did we end up here? What do we do there? And I always bring my Polaroid camera
Uh-huh.
because I like to meet people and I like to not just take a picture, but also give a picture back. So at some point we met a class of small monks, and I just, oh, it's so cute. So I wanted to give them a Polaroid as a class picture.
Yeah.
So they were all standing in lines, and I really felt like when I was young, when I was in primary school, and the school photographer came and, you know, took the picture. It was really like that moment. So I gave them the picture and they put it in their classroom
Yeah.
of all of them. It was really cool. And I have to say, because the third last country in my heart is really the Philippines.
Oh.
I loved it too. It's where we started our vlog, and I loved it. We went to some really small places where almost no one goes, and there it's also really great to talk to people, to interact. People are really friendly, and also I notice, because mostly when you travel to a country and you leave it, then the country is kind of gone.
Yeah.
But for my Philippine movies, there are so many people that are either loving the Philippines or coming from the Philippines that get connected through the movies.
Oh,
and start to talk to you, ask questions, tell you more, give you advice on where to go if you go back. So I really like that too. So that's what I really love about the Philippines, about the people and how they care about getting in touch.
well, thank you, Gretel, so much for spending the time to talk to us today and share all of your wonderful advice. Um,
Yes.
if people want to get in contact with you or watch some of your content, where's the best place to find that information?
Well, you can always find me on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, which is Travel Gretl. Um, and do you write it down, or should I like spell it out?
Yep, I'll put all of the links for me and Gretel underneath this video.
Yeah, so there,
Links down
that's
below, people.
Travel Gretl. You can also find me on travelgretl.com, and you can always email me at travelgretl@gmail.com. I thought I'd keep it easy. I just keep everything Travel Gretl.
I like it, I like it. And if anyone wants to see some of my content or get in touch with me, I'm on YouTube and all of the social media under Perlin's Adventure blog. So you can find all of those links for me and Gretel underneath this
Check it
video.
out too. Check it out too.
Well, thank you very much. And yeah, I hope to meet you in person sometime.
Yeah, I hope so too. I would love to come to Australia.
Thank you, everyone, and thanks for watching. Till next time, bye-bye. I was just walking along and I walked across this bridge and I looked to the side and there's these people surfing, like middle of winter, full wetsuits, surfing on a river. That, the water came from underneath the bridge, hit this log that they made a wave, and they were surfing that. So that was amazing to see surfing in Munich in the middle of winter.